And it's okay, you have to go through phases in your life though. I do feel like it. You'll never know how to experience or truly live life if you don't experience it. Good and bad.
Good and
right?
bad.
Right? No one's perfect. And you don't know how to relate to people when you don't experience anything.
It's the human experience, huh?
Right.
Everybody gotta get it.
There's no one that has lived this earth that has been perfect except for one person, and so.
Who is that person?
It's Jesus himself.
Jesus himself?
Yeah.
Come on now. Jesus himself. Yeah, you wanna try this one?
Yeah, we can go for it. Yeah, let's go for it. And look, you gotta lean back more.
Yeah.
We already done started. Let's just make this a warm-up. How does that feel? It's not too light?
Oh, I feel that right here.
Feel that.
That was good. Oh yeah.
All right.
How many was that?
10.
Did you feel it a bit?
Huh? It's light. It's
fine.
light.
I feel like obviously 10, you're definitely not gonna feel it on 10.
You want me to keep going?
But I feel like for you to feel it, you gotta do more reps,
Do more reps. Okay.
especially on that
Okay.
weight.
That's a heavy weight.
I'll
I'll
take
be
it.
glad if I can do 2. We're gonna see.
You can do 2, but no. Let me go down.
No, let me just
You know
see.
what? Give it a shot.
Let me
We
just
can
see.
always go down.
The most I can do is either see if I
Like,
can
what
do
am
it
I
or not.
doing? What am I doing? Treating you like a girl? Oh, okay.
I am a girl.
You're a girl.
I'm a girl.
Oh, okay. Wow, look at that. Come on. Come on.
I can just do 5 though. I can
Come
only
on,
do
you-
5.
That was all you
I
got?
just said 5.
That was all you got? You got at least 3 more in you. 1, 2.
Did you help me stop?
No, it was on the last one. I barely did anything. I barely
felt
did
it.
anything. On the last one?
Yes.
Yeah. Like, lust was what led you into this relationship because you saw a big butt. You saw a big butt, and that's why you're where you are now. That's you started pursuing the big butt. And now you're in this relationship. From the onset, you knew that the only reason you're following this person is because of the butt. You were following lust. And it's 2 years, and you know that this is not the person that you want to be with. So you're using this person. And the person is using you wherever. But 2 years and in your mind you're like, yeah, I know this is not a person I want to be with, so eventually I'm going to call it off. But it's been 2 years. Imagine that. It's 2 years. Imagine how much time. That's what I'm saying. That's why, look, man, that's why I'm saying, like, it's so impossible. It's very difficult for you to be given into lust and be successful in life. You have to let them go. If you find yourself in a relationship, it's okay. I know you love them. I know you don't want to be the reason to hurt them. I know, but you got into this relationship when you were in a different place in your life. I'm not talking about marriage now. If you're married, that's a different thing. I'm not saying, no, that's not what I'm saying. If you're married, you're in there. You have a covenant. You have to uphold that. I'm talking about people who are still in a relationship. Leaving them and walking away does not make you a bad person. Staying where you do not want to stay, you see, that makes you a liar. Makes you a liar to yourself and a liar to that person. And so, what do you want to be? No, I hate lost, bro. I hate lost. And most of the things that I want to talk about is based on personal experience or experiences. Now, last night I had a dream, and in this dream, I was talking to a group of people. And I was telling them in the dream how the more people you date, the more people you mess around with, the more people you get attached to, the more difficult it becomes to connect with one person. The more difficult it becomes for you to, meet or find a person, somebody who is genuine. And it's not because you won't find the person that is genuine. It's not because you won't find the right person. But because you have given yourself, to so many people. When you find the genuine one, when you find the gold, you will treat the gold like stone. You will treat the gold like trash. When you find the people who are genuine, you will treat them the same way that you've always treated everybody that you've dealt with. And if you're watching this, you saw the title of this video and you decide to click it. That's because you're somebody who is familiar, like you know a thing or two about lost. And I feel like I can talk about this because of how much I dealt with it and and the experience that I have had in my own life. See, like when I was growing up, like nobody ever told me about lost. When I was growing up, my father would whoop me for doing other things. My father would whoop me for playing around, whoop me for maybe not cleaning the house, not doing my laundry, and all this type of stuff. But that meant he never told me about lost. My mother, nobody ever taught me about lost as a child growing up. But eventually I found out about these things. And the people that introduced me to things like corn, masturbation, all those things, were my friends. We didn't even know, like when I got introduced to corn and all those things, I didn't even have a concept, I didn't even have an idea of loss. I didn't even know what that was. I didn't know the word. I didn't even know there was a word like lost, L-U-S-T. First of all, if you're watching this, it's because you care. And you might be beating yourself up saying, oh man, why is this stuff happening to me? Like, why am I dealing with loss? Like, why can't I get over this stuff? Like, why do I keep watching this type of videos? Why do I keep falling again? Why do I keep masturbating? All those things. Look, I've done that stuff. And that's why I feel like I can talk a bit about this. But the thing that you realize is, man, how do I say this? You see, if you're dealing with lust, lust is like giving into lust, pursuing lust, it's like the price that you pay in exchange for your purpose. You get what I'm saying? Because like if you're actively giving into lust, that's time. Like you're taking time away from your purpose. And I wish somebody told me about loss. I wish there was a place growing up where I could go and find, and hear things about loss. Like just be educated. I wish my father taught me. And I wish my father told me, hey son, I wish my mother taught me about those things. And it's like, yeah, maybe if they had taught me, maybe I would have still done what I wanted to do. But I guess we'll never know. See, we'll never know because they never taught me. But I also realized that, see, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what my father did or what they didn't do. It doesn't matter what they taught me or what they didn't. Now, see, my own life, I have to be accountable for my own life. And that's because I see, I realize what lust is doing. I realize, look, I want to try to say this as plain as possible. And you will see what I mean. You will understand what I mean. Like if you're giving into lust, you see, if you scroll, you go on your phone and you start scrolling, right? You start scrolling, you start watching those videos. You start, you go on TikTok, you go on this, and you start seeing, you see a big butt here, and you see this and you see that, and next thing you know, your meat is in your hand. Like, how did it get there? See, because lust is what you exchange for your purpose. What I mean is, if you're giving into lust, it's mostly because you have no purpose. Or not saying you have no purpose, but you are not, you're ignoring your purpose. Look, I remember when I used to struggle with masturbation. I remember when I used to struggle like with porn. I haven't watched that stuff in like 6 years. Like I couldn't go a day without watching porn, without masturbating. Like, I was addicted to that stuff. And that's why I say I'm speaking from experience. Because one thing that I realize is, and if you're truthful to yourself, and that's the way I feel like you can begin to like also get over this stuff, like overcome this stuff. When you realize that giving into your loss, when you realize that watching those videos, like it's not free. Those are not free. Like you're writing a check, and the cost of watching all those things and spending time on those things is your purpose, it's your life. And so that's why most times you find yourself watching videos because you have nothing else. You're not doing anything with your life. You have so much free time. That's why I say like go to the gym, start working on yourself. An idle mind is the devil workshop. Go to the gym, bro. If you feel a type of way like, oh, bro, go take a cold shower. Go take a cold shower. You have to discipline yourself. And I know sometimes, right, there's another side to this lust. There's another side to this lust where it's like you get to a point where now, bro, it's just spiritual, bro. It's just spiritual. You got to pray. You got to pray. But, and most times that's where it's going to get to. But I just want to say, like, you have to discipline yourself. Like, if there is something that you feel like is dragging you, if there is something you feel like makes you fall into this lust, it's social media, if it's Twitter, bro, you got to get off these things, bro. You got to get off these things. And I keep telling you, like, you have to be careful. Like, if you're following people and you feel like the kind of people you're following are feeding your lust, bro, unfollow these people. Why do you still follow them? Unfollow them. And that's the thing. It's like, you can't say, oh, I hate my lust, and you're still feeding it, bro. Like, you can't be lying to yourself. Like right now, like you can't say, oh man, I'm dealing with this loss. And you're feeding it, bro. You're following all these half-naked people on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter. Look at your following, bro. And my loss will be looking at me like, bro, you're telling me to get out, but you're the one who invited me in. Keep giving in to loss, and I guarantee, bro, you will never become anything in life. And when you do you'll become a fraction of what you could have been. Bro, this is just the real, this is the real, this is the deal. This is what I'm saying when I say, I wish my father told me this earlier on. And I'm not trying to scare you, bro. I'm not trying to scare you, but you need to realize that, look, loss does not come for weak men. Loss comes for strong men. If you're dealing with loss, that's a sign that, you have like a great calling, a high calling on your life. Loss only comes for strong men. But for the same people who think that, oh no, it can't be me. Oh no, it's just this, I'm in control of this stuff, I know what I'm doing. And before you know it, like, look, you won't realize it, but before you know it, the deal, the bill is due. And it's more than what you bargained for. It's always more than what you bargained for. And that's what I'm saying, like, and what is that? It's your purpose, man. It's your life. Look at the two greatest men that to ever exist. Samson, the most powerful man to ever exist. And Solomon, the most wisest and richest man to ever exist. They were both brought down by lust. And you can look at Samson and say, oh, but that was his wife. See, that was his wife. That was a relationship. So it's like it can't really be lost. But yeah, it's lost, right? It's lost because it's the same people. Like he knew he shouldn't mess with that specific people. It's like you hear people talk about how, look, focus on your dream, focus on your purpose. Like, keep, like refrain from relationship. And what they're really saying is, refrain from, relationship that takes you off your purpose, that distracts you from your purpose. That's really what they are saying. Because personally, I'm not saying like, I don't think relationship is like, I'm not one of those people that will say, hey, just ignore relationship and don't have any relationship. But at the same time, Because if it's a relationship that is serving you, right? If you happen to find somebody who align with you, and that person is not getting in the way of that, and that person is supporting you, like, why wouldn't you hold that person close to you? You're blessed. Lock in with that person. You don't realize how much effort that you're giving into lust. You're talking to this girl, you want to go hang out with your friend because that's where the girls at. And then, you got to get an outfit, you have to prepare, you have to take a day out, you have to spray your cologne and all those things and just to go. Look, it's too much. And then you have to test. You go, you meet somebody, you get a number, then you have to test, you have to plan dates, and then you got to meet the person, date 1, date 2, and all these things. Just for what? Just to sleep with the person. And that's just real because of lust. Bro, you don't want nothing serious with that person. But because of lust, and you think that the only time that all this, going here, going there, preparing there, going on the date and testing back and forth and calling, you think that the only time that this stuff has taken from you is the time when you guys maybe have sex. Because you're not seeing how much time, how much, like, your mind, you're going through your day, and now you're thinking about that person. Now you're thinking about the activity. You're thinking you're like impure thoughts going through your mind. And now you see you can't pursue what you're pursuing. You're not locked in. You see, you're distracted, like Samson. Lust will always bring you to the place where your destiny would be the bill, where your purpose will be the currency for you to get a feel, get a mouthful of the lust. Lust currencies is your purpose. The time that you're giving to lust, the time that you're giving to scrolling on the internet. Look, we know how this stuff go. We know how you get on TikTok and it's nothing that serves you, right? And you get on TikTok and you see, or Instagram, and you see that girl, you see the big butt, you see everything out, nothing left for the to the imagination, and it's like, see, now you're fighting, now you're going. See, now you're going. You see, and before you know it, it's 1 hour, it's 2 hours, and you've consumed all these things, and your subconscious mind as well is picking it up. It's lost, right? And before you know it, you're boom, right? You're masturbating, and after you finish masturbating, notice how whenever you do that stuff, whenever you finish that stuff, it's not like you do anything productive afterwards. Notice how whenever you finish masturbating, do you think it's a coincidence that you feel like you've lost all purpose whenever you finish doing that stuff? Like, you don't feel alive. And then after that is done, boom, you go back to scrolling again. But if you had a packed day, if you had something that you're working on, you have to figure out this video or figure out this, oh man, I gotta go to the gym, I gotta call the bros, we gotta make these plans. By the time you're done, it's like, okay, I gotta go to bed. If you know that your right hand will cause you to offense, you cut it off. If you know that the social media is where your temptation is coming from, like this lust, like that. Look, what I'm saying is, and if you're watching this and if you're like, man, like, how do I overcome this? Look, I just want to let you know, like, you're asking the right question, because there are some people who don't even think about these things. There are some people who don't even consider the fact that, they're just giving in to their lust. Who don't consider it like at all, like it means nothing to them, like they don't care. It's like their heart has been like hardened, like they don't care. And it's not me judging. It's not me judging, it's just me, I'm just saying it as it is. How can I judge? Who am I to judge when I myself walk as an imperfect man? And the thing with lust is not just only about, about what happened when you're watching the corn, when you're watching those videos, right? And then you're masturbating. You gotta understand, those are like the end product of like just the physical action and stuff. See, like what I'm trying to say is this stuff goes deeper. Like I said earlier, in the beginning of this video, about the dream that I had, and I was talking to people and I told them in the dream, I said, when you date multiple people, when you've been with so many people, it makes it difficult for you. Like the more people you've been with, the more difficult it is for you to connect with somebody, to truly connect with somebody. I mean, think about it. Think about, when was the last time you had a genuine crush? You know that cute crush? You know that cute crush you had, like that first time when you were in high school or middle school, wherever, when you were young, like that first time you saw that person and you were shy, you blush, like you had a crush on that girl. So, it's like a movie. You felt like you were in a movie. Most people today, can't even feel a genuine crush, a genuine admiration for somebody. Like it's tainted. They can't see that person and just admire them, just admire their beauty and say, gosh, this person is beautiful. The moment lust gets into your life, the moment lust get a hold of you, not only does it begin to like ruin your life, and steal time that you're supposed to, the time that was given to you to make your purpose come true, to make your dream come true. You see, lust starts stealing that time. And I think that's why, look, and I think that's why in a way, lust, there are things that God said, like, we shouldn't do certain things. And sometimes we think it because God is just tripping. We think God is just being like, don't do this, until you start realizing, right? You start realizing. You see, because lust has gotten in now, you can no longer look at a person just as a person. You can't see the beauty, the God-given beauty of that person. Our soul has become tainted and we can't see pure, we can't see clean. And we have to like start imagining things because of, we have eaten the forbidden fruit. We have eaten the forbidden fruit. So now we have to see things, through the lens of the fruit that we have eaten. Lust comes for people with a calling to take them away. Lust come for you so that like lust want to give you something so that it can take your purpose. If the strongest man to ever live, Samson, if he couldn't escape, look, it cost him his destiny and his purpose. It's lost. That's why I say, yeah, even though I'm not against relationship when you're on your path to achieving, because that's what hustle culture will tell you. Like go, like, nah, don't do all those things. But what I say is no. Because when do you think it's better for you to get to the mountaintop and then try to like look for somebody? No. Because most times now you're just a target. And that's just the real. Now you're just a target. You don't know who you're finding. You really don't know. Now, I'm not saying you can't find somebody good, but what I'm saying is, if you happen to find somebody, don't let it not become all about yourself. If you happen to find somebody on your journey and it just click, right, and it's like, man, that's your person, it's fine. If maybe before you see this video, or now you're watching this video and you know that you're in a relationship and you're like, man, this relationship is costing me my purpose, this relationship is taking away from my purpose, like, and you're like, man, but I don't want to let this person go because I care about this person. So I don't know, maybe that's why Samson didn't want to like cut Delilah off. The ball is in your court. Do you want to keep somebody there because, I care about you, but you know that the expense that you're paying, that the price that you're paying is for your destiny, it's for your purpose. That person is not for you. You're not for that person. I don't want nobody else, touching this person. That's a clear telltale sign that you're being led by lust. You don't need to tell a blind man that, hey, it's storming outside, it's raining outside. They just know. What decision are you going to make? What decision are you going to make for your own destiny and for your own life? Fill your life. Do not be an idle mind. Do not become a playground for the devil. Do not become a playground for lust. Bro, I'm telling you, bro, guide your phone, guide your eyes. Because the moment you think that, oh, I'm in control, bro, I'm telling you, that's the moment you will fall into the trap, the moment you will fall into this relationship. And it's 2 years you're still in this relationship and you know that this relationship is not good for you. Bro, imagine 2 years you've been in this relationship. That means you've wasted 2 years of your life. Look, I am in my 20s. I'm not even 30 yet. I still have few years to go before I clock 30. And like I said, right, from early on, nobody told me about loss, but I can look back and see, and that's why I'm saying I can look back and see how, I can see the patterns of man. Like loss is not a joke, bro. The world's wisest and richest man, King Solomon, he got his wisdom. Look, this man got his wisdom straight from God. He got his wisdom straight from God, and even with all the things that he got straight from God, this man still went and picked women that took him away from God. Bro, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Took him away from God, that means, bro, it's your purpose, man. It's your purpose. So I'm saying, if you are on your purpose, you can't be looking at lust. Lust is so selfish that it won't share no vision. And that's why I say, see, lust is not only about watching porn and watching, masturbating. Because once upon a time, that was all my issue. That was what I dealt with. And I thought, God, if only I can overcome this, if only, I get free from this, I'll be straight. I was in high school. And then I got free from that, right? I got free from that. So I never do that stuff. It's not my thing. Like, I have no desire to look at a picture or see a picture and it get me going. Like, that stuff doesn't happen to me. But I will also say this, but I believe, look, I prayed and I got delivered. So I know that I got supernaturally delivered in that regards, because mine was next level. Mine was next level, bro. I was gone. I was a gunner. I was a gunner pro max. I was an elite level gunner. Oh my goodness. I'm so thankful that he delivered me from that stuff, man. Right? When I was in high school, we'll have guests, and I wouldn't be there with them playing games. I would go into my room because my mind was lost in, I was thinking about watching corn. I was thinking about, I gotta go masturbate, man. When people are having fun outside, when they are playing, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, you don't understand how bad, how crazy that stuff can be until you find yourself there. And every time you do it, it takes energy out of you. It's almost like it takes, your desire to be productive, your desire to be something, your desire to follow your purpose. Realize that every time lust comes, every time you're giving yourself to lust, it's taking you away from your purpose. Like, the moment you start getting away from lust, you're no longer watching these videos. You're no longer gunning. And watch how things will start changing for you. I'm telling you, watch how things will start aligning for you. But in the same time, watch how different form of lust will start coming your way. Pray to God. Pray to God for strength. And I'm praying for you as well as you're watching this. I need prayer too. Now, my own struggle, it's different, but do I still struggle with lust? Yeah, I still do, to a different degree. Like I said, lust is not only about the corn videos. It's not only about gunning, masturbation. Lust, it comes in different form. The moment you think, oh, I'm good, I've overcome this stuff, the moment you start seeing a different form of lust that you never, that you didn't even realize existed. And so that's why I say pray. You have to stay, you have to pray. As I'm talking to you now, I'm talking to you like a friend. I'm talking to you like a brother. This is how you talk to God, man. And just know, like, God, He will hear you. He will hear you, and as He hear you, also pay attention to your, to your gut feelings too. Pay attention to your gut feelings when you start, feeling a type of way about things, about people, when it comes to your life and it comes to, your purpose and all those things. So thank you for watching this. I really appreciate you, and I hope you guys keep doing the best with what you have. Love you, and hey, subscribe and like this video, support this video. I really appreciate you. I'm about to get ready to hit the gym with my sister.